Good day, everybody. What's going on? Want to bring you a little bit of an update of what I've been seeing going on in here in the wide, wide world of media sports, or just media follies. So, um, really interesting articles today. Uh, let's pretty much. This was kind of predicted. I didn't say it, to do a video, but GoFundMe is a hole. GoFundMe has suspended millions of dollars going to the truckers who are protesting in Ottawa in Canada against the medical tyranny, and so I don't know what's going to happen there, but that was a lot of money that's supposed to go to those truckers for doing what they're doing, and so GoFundMe needs to go f themselves. All right, so and of course the Chinese Communist Party's agents have infiltrated U.S. media, politics, science, and military, and yet Biden regime does nothing. And let's see here. And then, Arizona Senator Wendy Rogers drops 88 bills. We are going back to in-person one-day voting, no machines, and paper choosing papers with watermarks. That makes it very, very, very hard to do the nefarious things that took place. Biden's DOJ says arsonist who killed someone during BLM riots should get lesser sentence because he was protesting. Let's read a little bit about that. This just pisses me off. Joe Biden's Department of Justice said he has said that the man who killed someone during the Black Lives Matter riots in 2020 should be getting a lesser sentence because he was caught up in the fury when he burned down a pawn shop. Of course, the move is especially heinous when you consider the harsh charges that January 6 protesters are facing for much less. Montez Terrell Lee Jr. broke into a Minnesota pawn shop, poured gasoline, and lit it on fire on June 5th, 2020. A 30-year-old man, Oscar Lee Stewart, was found dead in the rubble over 2 months later. That's terrible. It took them 2 months to be able to find this man in the burnt-down rubble, mostly because they weren't letting police in. We're allowed to do this. Lee actions were caught on camera, and 100% fed up reports that, according to the court records, one of the videos captures Lee standing in front of the burning shop saying, "F this place, we're going to burn this bee down." Instead of facing a typical sentence of 200 months, U.S. Attorney W. Anders Folk recommended less time because of the motives behind the arson and killing. Mr. Lee's motive, quote unquote, Mr. Lee's motive for setting the fire is a foremost issue. Mr. Lee credibly states that he was in the streets to protest unlawful police violence against black men, and there is no basis to disbelieve this statement. Mr. Lee appropriately acknowledges that he could have had demonstrated in a different way, but that he was caught up in the fury in the mob after living as a black man, watching his peers suffer in the hands of police, the memo stated. So pretty much, he's just a dickhole. The guy's just a victimized, self-victimized dickhole. I hate to use that term, but that's all he's good for. And apparently, Soros bought out people like this are going to let him walk. But that's okay, because his time's coming. Be right back. Crazy things in Canada going down. We've got so much stuff happening when it comes to medical tyranny. Justin Trudeau, the Communist Party's right-hand man, he is now banned unvaxxed from buying groceries at major retailers unless they are accompanied by a thing called a health warden who will ensure they will only buy food and medicine. Now, that's absolutely atrocious. He claims that this is for people's freedoms, but what it entails is when you go into Walmart or any big place, they'll only let you buy just certain essential items. There will be a person that walks with you that makes sure that you're in certain aisles and will not let you go buy certain items. So you want to buy shoes or something, or if you want to go buy a jacket, if you want to buy socks, too bad, get out. So that's going to really be a big factor. Eventually people are going to, you're going to see. So even before it kicked in, the repressive Canadian province required the vaccine passports at government-run liquor stores, cannabis stores, in addition to many other retail stores that had been deemed non-essential by the autocratic egg hands and public regime. You suck, Justin Trudeau, and we know it. Coming for you. This is really good for this is good. Republican Herschel Walker has raised a stunning $10 million since announcing bid for Senate. Excellent. A former NFL player has full backing of Trump and also a massive lead in the Republican primary. It looks like he's going to face off against Democrat Raphael Warnock. Shouldn't be hard at all. That's actually it should be an easy win. Oh gosh, if you ever see a picture of that Raphael Warnock guy, that dude just got criminal wrote all over his face. It's just, you can just see it. I'm sorry. Like he looks like a cross between like one of those crooked preachers from the movie Friday that messes around with all the neighbors, and Mr. Rogers. So, not to take away from Mr. Rogers, he was a good dude, but long story short, that guy just looks like a complete creep show criminal. And he actually had, Raphael Warnock had some legal trouble during his campaign that got shuffled under the rug after some domestic violence with a female quite a bit younger than him. That was his girlfriend. So this guy obviously, and he was also part of a criminal organization that had to do with child trafficking. There was some arrests made, and he was part of it. You can actually look into that. You'll see. So Raphael Warnock was shuffled in 2020 with some of the nefarious things that took place. So anyhow, look for some pretty cool things that happen down there in Georgia. And there's a Democratic Soros-backed operative. Let me read a little bit about it. Kim Gardner, her legal troubles, they're getting to be somewhat more and more entailed. Former Missouri governor and U.S. Senate candidate Eric Greitens discusses Soros-backed St. Louis attorney Kim Gardner's legal troubles and more. There's a video on this. I'll link it in the descriptions. I'm running short on time today, so I can't put it in with the video, but I would like for you to check it out because it's really informative. And of course, she was actually kind of pretty in one of her prior photos, but when she went woke, she had to cut all her hair off. Looks like a dude. Not good. Not a good thing. People on our side, on the conservative side, our men have testosterone and our women look good because they care for themselves and the people around them. That's how that works. We don't just, anyways. Lizzo wearing a shower curtain as a one-piece bathing suit always did trip me out. And there's a video of her eating pizza. Talking about how she's eating her feelings away. She's teaching kids. I got to find it and I'll try to do a video on it. But Lizzo is a rapper who is come to be in the woke cancel culture and being propped up by the woke culture. And she is promoting overweight, poor care. And in one of her videos, she's glorifying how she's eating her feelings away while she's eating a burnt piece of pizza. She says, I can't even hardly eat my feelings away with just burnt piece of pizza. Look at it. She's eating it anyways. And that's teaching kids that have problems with eating disorders that it's okay to eat your feelings away. So that promotes obesity, which then promotes problems with the health and children's development. So Lizzo is a psyop, by the way, that rapper woman. So anyways, you see any Lizzo stuff, turn your head. She's complete eye aids. But back to Kim Gardner. Over 70% of her money was one political action committee from the PAC. She's all backed by Soros. Gardner found guilty for over 7 instances of perjury for creating a false case against me. So in other words, she did a bunch of stuff against this dude. And so now it's all coming back to get her. And it's in a lot of trouble. And it's really cool to see that happening because of the fact that we're starting to see things kind of turn around a little bit. This sounds good on front, but it's really not good when you read into it. Caught on video, California Republican Party endorses Democrats and a sheriff who will kick ICE out. And what they're talking about is the California Republican Party endorses board meeting on Saturday, January 22nd, 2022. That was caught on video. This video starts with Katie Wheeler, the California GOP convention planning official, discussing the mask and vaccine mandates, and that will require on April convention. All attendees must provide proof of the vaccine. Senator Scott Wilk, the California Senate Republican leader, then urges committee to endorse Los Angeles County Sheriff Villanueva in the upcoming election. Villanueva promised to kick ICE out of the county jails so criminal aliens will not have to worry about deportation. Jessica Patterson, the chairwoman of California Party, then discusses how Republicans can support the moderate Democrat in upcoming Los Angeles County Board elections. Jessica was not reelected chairwoman of GOP chairwoman. Okay, so the Secretary of California Republican Party then asked about the GOP policy for endorsing moderate Democrats in the state. As long as California allows mail-in voting, ballot drop boxes, and ballot harvesting, this will continue. We reached out to California GOP for comment, and there's a video you can watch there, and I'll put this in the description if you care to look at it. But yeah, definitely, that's really weird. And so how they put it on paper is they're trying to make it look like they're going to do something, but totally not going to do anything. Paul Speary. This is something that we're talking about here. And so, what did Hillary Clinton know, and when did she know it? The Russiagate evidence seems to be building. I haven't read this article yet, so we're going to look at this together. As indictments and new court filings indicate, the special counsel that John Durham is investigating Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign for feeding false reports to the FBI to incriminate Donald Trump and his his advisors as Kremlin agents. Clinton's role in Borgoing scandal remains exclusive. What did she know, and when did she know this? Top officials involved in her campaign have repeatedly claimed, some under oath, that they and candidate were unaware of the foundation and disinformation campaign. The 35-page collection of the now debunked claims of the Trump-Russia collusion, known as the Steele dossier, even though their campaign helped pay for the dossier, they claim she only read it after a BuzzFeed News published it in 2017. But court documents, behind-the-scene video footage, and recently surfaced evidence reveal that Clinton and her top campaign advisors were much more involved in the more than $1 million operation to dredge up dirt on Trump and Russia. Then they have let on, and the evidence shows that the Trump-Russia conspiracy theory sprang from a multi-pronged effort within the Clinton campaign, which manufactured many of these false claims, then fed them to friendly media and law enforcement officials. Clinton herself was at the center of these efforts, using her personal Twitter account and presidential debates to echo these false claims of the Steele and others that Trump was in cahoots with the Russians. And we all know who's in cahoots with Russia. Anyways, thanks, Joe Biden. Wake up, Joe Biden. Although Clinton has not been pressed by major media in her role in Russiagate, a short scene in her 2020 documentary, Hillary, suggests she was aware of the effort. It shows Clinton speaking to her running mate, Democratic Senator Tim Kaine, and his wife, Anne, who in hushed tones about Trump and Russia in back room before campaign event in early 2016. Clinton expressed concerns over Trump's weird connections to Russia and in President Vladimir Putin. She informed Kaine that she and her aides were scratching hard to expose them, a project Kaine seemed to be hearing about for the first time. So, just to know that both Manafort and Flynn have been cited in a dossier report submitted in the Clinton campaign before the two Democratic nominees in their October 2016 conversation. The dossier falsely accused Manafort, Flynn, and other Trump advisors in participating in the Kremlin conspiracy to steal the election for Trump. Dossier and others, Christopher Steele himself, and suggested Clinton was briefed on his reports on July 5th, 2016, the same day the FBI publicly exonerated Clinton in her email scandal. Now, ain't that something? Steele handed off some of the first installments of the dossier to the FBI agents overseas who had handled it previously as an informant. In their London meeting, Steele noted that Clinton was aware of reporting according to contemporaneous notes Steele took of their conversation. So pretty much it just talks about all the things that were brought to light, all the lies that were, and it cost the taxpayers paid for all this stuff to happen because there were, this was a fake report done. This is a false police report times 65. Can you believe that? And she thinks she's going to get away with it. If she lives long enough, she won't get away with it. That's all I can say. And this here is something that I'm aware of, and I think it's probably a good idea to feel this way. Exclusive Oklahoma GOP chair sends President Trump letter encouraging him not to endorse Senator Lankford for re-election, and I totally agree. We obtained a letter from Oklahoma GOP Chairman John Bonet to President Trump, where Bonet recommends that the president not back U.S. Senator James Lankford in upcoming state primaries. This is the first time reading this article, so I want to see why. I got wintertime lips. All right, if I put chapstick on, it looks like I'm wearing lipstick, and I don't want to, we're not going. Now, YouTube would probably give me a lot more subscribers if I did that, but I'm not going that route. We're not selling ourselves out for subscribers. We're just going to be patriots with regular old dusty wintertime lips. Okay, anyways, back to what I'm talking about. Bonet notes that Lankford changed his mind at the last minute on January 6th and voted for the certification of the Bo Biden. He also open to another fake impeachment to president, and he did. At a later date, Senator Langford apologized to Black Lives Matter in Tulsa, saying that his brief questioning of the election results was racist. Oh my goodness! So Chairman Benet believes that without President Trump's endorsement, Senator Langford will be defeated. And I really think that's a good idea because I watched the whole thing play out. I don't know how in the world somebody can be murdered and then an hour later they're back in there slamming the gavel down. That just doesn't. There was no investigation when that happened on the 6th. I was so thrown to the side. I was like, man, this happened. That woman got shot. They're going to shut down the counting tonight because they got to do an investigation. It's going to at least take a day or so to get all that right. And then an hour later, they were back at it. So, yeah. And then they all changed their minds, and not even taking into consideration that there was a false flag that done that. But say, for instance, in just 1 minute thinking about it, was that even if it wasn't a false flag, these people were actually had legitimate claims. Anybody that had a pulse could have seen what happened in 2022. It's not like it was hard to figure out, and they're going to act like this. It's like, did somebody tell them, did they know something that we didn't know before all this happened? Because it happened at just the right time when they're about to throw everything back to the electors. So, I can't say what was going to happen exactly because that's all speculation, but we all know what would have happened. So, yeah, stay away from Senator Langford. If you get a picture of him, you can see the lizard skin is falling off, and his alien face seems like it's starting to protrude. So anyhow, something to think about. And last but not least, very important, I want to talk a little bit about this right here. Dr. Death himself, Fauci proposes that there will be a 3-shot series for babies 6 months old and up to children 4 years old. So there's a video for this too. Please check it out. It's very, very, very disturbing. The man himself is very, very disturbing. Just watching this guy on television is very disturbing. I don't know how anybody can't see through the doo-doo that comes out of his mouth. It's splattering all over the screen when he opens it and talks. So anyways, arrest Fauci. Simple as that. Arrest Fauci, get the flamethrowers out. Wood chippers, definitely recommended. Anyways, just know that right now that as far as the checking of the 2020 people there's a lot of stuff going on. Don't think for 1 second this is over. I watched the interview with Kelly Ward. It was a good interview. What I'm doing is I'm kind of like not reporting every little thing because I don't need people to get discouraged right now. I want you to keep your morale up. I want you to know that this is not over. I want you to also know that the wins that we're going to get are going to be unexpected, but very, very strategic. So get ready for that. Lots of awesome things happening. Please check out the Fox and Archibald show. That does us great honor because of the fact that we're just we're not only are we reporting on the news that people need to hear, I'm also trying to create a narrative where us as YouTubers and conservatives we're going to create a narrative. Narrative drives the artificial intelligence that drives the internet. If we can get our narrative rolling, we'll run the AI, and it has no choice but to back down and start going in the correct direction, the direction that America needs to go. So please like and subscribe and share. Never mind my ability not to be able to pronounce a word. I'm doing my best out here. I really thank all the people who are watching. And I want you to also check out Shannon at Devoted Patriots. And also, if you check out Sweet Home North Carolina, really good guy, man. We just did a show with Sweet Home North Carolina. We had the producer from the Fox and Archibald show on. It'll go up Monday. And so definitely, please check it out. Lots of love, everybody. Lots of love. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a great honor. And I'm going to be doing it hard as we're doing this 110%. We're going 700 miles an hour, and we're not going to stop till it's over. God is in control.